Charlie, right? He's doing a good job, isn't he? All right, fuck Charlie. What are we doing? I'm on your side. What are we doing? Thanks for coming to the show, guys. You guys look good tonight, too. Can I say that? Yeah, I wanted to look good for you. Sorry it didn't work out. I did not mean to sound so surprised when I said that you're good looking. It's just when someone asks you to do a comedy show on a Saturday night at Bally's, and it's right above the live Keno pit, you get a pretty clear idea of what that's going to look like. So I am pleasantly surprised. Did you see that on your way up here, by the way? Anyone dip their toe into that fucking filthy gene pool? The Keno pit is like the Greyhound station of the casino, right? Everyone in there just looks depressed and broken. Just black eyes and Dorito crumbs everywhere. First of all, I'm pretty sure calling it live Keno is an oxymoron because I've never seen anyone in there that looks like they've taken a breath recently. Which actually works out because I'm pretty sure Keno's the only game in the casino where you could be dead and still be just as good at it. It's stupid. Dude, I fucking hate that game. How bad have things gone for you in your day when you end up at the live Keno pit, right? How dumb are you? You want to know what Keno is? Keno's for people who tried bingo one time, then thought to themselves, oof, this shit is complicated. Don't you have a game where I can just give you some numbers and then fall asleep in this chair? You can swing by in a couple hours, let me know how the whole thing shakes out. You guys got that? You guys got high stakes napping? Off to Keno. You know you literally only need two things to play Keno? $1 and a crayon. They could be fucking running a Keno ring at my kid's daycare. I got a little agitated about Keno up front. All right. The point I was trying to make is that I'm happy to be hanging out with the pretty people tonight, right? Especially the women. There's some beautiful women in here. I mean, it's dark, but probably, right? In general, I just feel like girls in Vegas are always so beautiful, you know? The one thing that bothers me about you, though, is you can tell girls in Vegas are trying too hard to be beautiful. You're always doing things to your body, putting on too much makeup. It's not even necessary. Like, I got a friend, she's a beautiful girl, but she insists on getting a hair weave once every 2 weeks, and she looks retarded. So I ask her why she does it. She's like, well, I have problems growing my hair long, so when they put the weave in, I make them put it in really tight, so it pulls on my scalp, and the hair grows faster. The backwards-ass science book did you get that research out of? Look, just because you pull on a part of your body doesn't mean it's going to grow, okay? Trust me on that one. I have done tons of self-funded research in my own laboratory, and the results appear to be conclusive. But I'll keep testing until I find the cure. I do feel bad for women. There's so much pressure on you to be beautiful, you know what I mean, all the time. And why? Because of fucking dirtbag guys. We look at you all the time, evaluate you all the time, we're pieces of shit about it, too. And no one even teaches us. Just somewhere along the line, instinct takes over, and we all do it. And we do it the same way, too. It doesn't matter how gorgeous you are. When we check you out, the first thing we do is make a list of all of your flaws, right? Then, once we have compiled that data, we wrap up the review with the same 4 words every time. I'd still fuck her. Oh, and it doesn't matter what we look like either. We always make it sound like we're doing you the biggest fucking favor of your life. Seriously, next time you see 2 guys watching TV and there's like a hot chick on, listen to their conversation. So it's like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, her ass is seriously getting pretty fat, but I'd still fuck her. Oh, good news. Hey, quick, someone get Scarlett Johansson on the phone. Let her know we finally found a guy. Oh, your lonely nights are over, Kate Upton. The fucking tag team of man boobs and back hair over here. Yeah, they're gonna throw you a mercy bone. What say you girls hop on the treadmill, make yourself presentable, while we polish off this plate of wings? What do you say? I will say this, though. If you're the kind of person who is self-conscious about being judged on your appearance, then you are in the right place. Because Las Vegas is the only place I've ever been where your sexiness can change depending on what part of town you're hanging out in. Yeah, not even just girls either, man. Like, fucking, it's Saturday night. If I start walking around on the strip, I feel like a fucking monster, right? Oh, but if I take this party down to Fremont Street, welcome. Hello, Ryan Gosling. Where have you been all night? Yeah. Dude, if you are in Vegas and you have low self-esteem, you don't need a therapist. You need Binions on a Tuesday afternoon. Don't you feel good when you're walking around downtown, don't you? Well, first of all, if you're walking, you're already doing better than most of us. Fucking walking down there is dangerous. They've got us outnumbered, right? Like, you just think you're going to walk from the slot machines to the bathroom. You're dodging rascal scooters. You got to run through that emphysema tank gauntlet. It's like American Gladiators for people who made horrible life decisions. It's true, man. It makes you feel good. I'm sorry, it does. Like, I'll be sitting at home just feeling all fat and bloated, bad about myself. I drive downtown, 10 minutes later, I'm waiting in line at Mermaid's for a fried Twinkie. Like, shit, apparently I got a ways to go before this gets out of hand. This is the unhealthiest place on the planet. Isn't it? Everything we do is to excess here. Like, the buffets alone. Just one city doesn't need this many places that are all you can eat. I mean, just think about that sentence for a second. All you can eat. It's like they're talking shit. So is that all you can eat, pussy? Come on. You didn't pay children's prices. Let's go. But for some reason, we all go there, and when you're there, you just buy into it, right? Doesn't it all just seem okay when you're at the buffet? Right? No judgment going on there, right? Well, come on, brothers and sisters. We're all friends here. We can keep a secret. Come on. But if you take one step back and you look at it objectively, it's the grossest fucking thing you've ever seen. Like, think about it this way. Like, let's pretend you go to a restaurant, a regular one, where you order off a menu, okay? If the waiter were to bring you a plate of food, and it had ribs, and eggs Benedict, and 2.5 pounds of peel and eat shrimp, a slice of pizza, 2 egg rolls, a taco, and a fucking Boston cream pie. Just all mashed together into a big ball of sadness. You would look down and say, like, what happened here? There's no way I'm eating this. Take it away from me. Oh, but not at the buffet, right? No, at the buffet. Oh, this is my first course. I'm gonna do this 6 more times. We're putting that in our body and it's like a fucking joke, right? It's like, doesn't even seem real. We come up with little sayings to make ourselves feel better about it. You know, we're treating ourselves. Why not have 3 desserts? I don't know, why not? How about diabetes? Is that not good enough? Hey guys doing? You alright? Having a good time? Are you guys married or dating?
We just might be upstairs.
Alright. I'm asking because you got your fucking hand on her back like you're holding a pistol on her. Just relax. Looked like I was interrupting an abduction. What kind of abduction starts at a comedy show? That'd be weird. It's the world's nicest abductor. It's like a Mormon abduction. Hey, I thought we'd go to a show tonight. Grab a late dinner. And retire to the attic where you live now. That was fucked up. How long you guys been married? Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, apparently the math got a little complicated. Well, whatever it is, congratulations, because she's way too hot for you. You know that, right? Yeah. I didn't know. I'm not trying to be a dick, but we all see it. Look, and I'm not judging. I'm in the same boat as you, man. I am dating a girl that is way too hot for me, and it is the worst, right? Here's how this poor son of a bitch wakes up every morning. Like, just kind of stretches, opens his eyes, rolls over, looks at her and says, well, let's see if she figures this shit out today. God, I hope she doesn't have lunch with any of her friends. Everybody thinks it's so great, but they don't know what we go through. It's hard work, right? And it was even harder for me because my girlfriend's the first girl that I started dating seriously after I got a divorce. And I got married really young the first time, right? So it's hard enough trying to date out of your league. It's even worse when everything you learned about women peaked in the year 1997. I'm trying to plan a date. I'm asking my buddies, look, are chicks still into making out in the back of my mom's Ford Explorer? Because look who found the hootie in the Blowfish CD. My friends gave me the worst advice ever. Dumbest advice I got was from a buddy of mine who said, Brian, now that you're single, first thing you need to do, stop eating asparagus. Come again? He's like, yeah, man, asparagus makes your sperm taste really gross, and when a girl gives you a blowjob, it pisses her off. Is that seriously the biggest roadblock you found here? The fucking vegetable intake is what's been holding us back all these years from just an avalanche of blowjobs? And besides, if I'm in a situation where a girl's pissed off at me because my sperm tastes gross, guess what? I've already won that battle. Live to fight another day, bro. Best advice I ever got was from a bachelor friend of mine who's like, Brian, I will tell you the biggest difference in what women are looking for now than when you were single the first time. In the year 2014, a woman is looking for a guy who manscapes. Right? Yeah, and I was like, oh, so like a Mexican guy? Not listening, also pretty racist. No. Manscaping, Brian. You gotta shave your balls. I was like, what? Can you even do that? Can you shave a half full bag of Jell-O? Is that even a thing? Well, I have since done some research on the internet. And I would like to share with you my findings. The first thing I learned is you should not just Google, how do I handle hairy balls, because you are going to go through a ton of gay stuff before you get to what you're looking for. Second thing I learned is if you're looking to do that, there's like a million products on the market that'll help you with that endeavor, right? Shit, man, I didn't know that the first time I did it. I figured, all right, if I'm going to clean up downstairs, I'll use the same thing I use to clean up upstairs. Yeah. You ever held a shit Quattro to your sack, brother? Goddamn right you haven't. You would never forget it if you had. That shit is terrifying. You know what it's like? It's like, have you ever seen those movies where a cop's got to defuse a bomb, but he doesn't know what he's doing? That's what it's like, right? You're just fucking down there shaking and sweating, just on the phone with headquarters. Red or blue, what do I cut? That visual got a little intense. You can learn a lot of penis-related information on the internet. For example, I read on the internet that 98% of all adult males in the United States admit to masturbating at least occasionally. Yeah. Also learned that 2% of guys in the United States have either lost both hands in a horrible woodworking accident or are fucking liars. I read on the internet that semen leaves a man's penis at the alarming rate of 22 miles per hour. Which means that technically it is illegal to jerk off in a school zone for 2 reasons. Wow, way to go, Bally. Way to take that journey with me. Not gonna lie, that does not always go over well. In fact, let's move it along before you think about it too much. Is that seriously how that lady laughs all the time? Oh, can I just give you a little insight into like how comics think, how much we secretly hate ourselves, right? So the whole reason we're here, the reason they pay us is to come up here and hopefully make you laugh, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Here's this beautiful lady, and she's laughing really hard. And the first thing that comes into my mind is like, what the fuck is her problem? She gonna be doing this bullshit all night? Let's talk about something else. I suppose now's a really inappropriate time to tell you I'm a dad. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. Thanks. Yeah, I don't bring that up because I want you guys to clap or I want you to like me or anything like that, you know? I only mention it because when most people look at me, they assume that I'm a virgin. And this is like the least offensive way I can tell you I had sex twice. I have two great kids, a boy and a girl. I am raising them in Las Vegas, which is horrifying. Because, I mean, look, I get it. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Every town's got its seedy parts. But I feel like maybe not every other town advertises their seedy parts quite as aggressively as we do, right? Look, man, I'll tell you what scares me out of everything. What freaks me out the most is the porn. Yeah, especially with my son, because you can put blockers up on the internet, but this is the amount of porn in this town is absurd. It's the only place I've ever been where if you don't feel like going out to get porn, you can just stand in one spot long enough and porn will come to you. And not even just like on the strip. Like I live out in the suburbs and I can literally walk to 3 different porn shops from my house. I do it all the time. It's super easy. So I do, man. Like I get worried that one day my son's gonna like walk around, see a pamphlet on the floor, now he knows what midget gangbangs are. Plus, there's not even any effort in finding it, dude. I came from a generation where porn was still special, where figuring out ways to like see pictures of a naked lady was a huge part of a young man's maturing process. It's gonna be too easy for him. You know what I mean? Like, remember when you were a kid, you found your big brother's Playboy? You brought that shit to school, you were like Don Corleone for a month? Everyone just coming up to you, just offering you favors for 3 minutes with the September issue? Or I'll do you one better. Anyone here remember the old school cable boxes? Right? Yeah. Easy, sir. You didn't have to answer before I was done with the fucking sentence. You do look like one of those guys, though. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like you could turn it to the porn channel and it would be all like scrambled up, but you could still hear everything? Tell me that was one of the 3 best days of your life when you figured it out. You just stare at that shit for hours, right? And real hard, too, like it's one of those magic eye posters. You just stare hard enough, it's going to come into focus. Might even be in 3D. You'd see a white circle over here. Might be a tit. Might be a bald guy. Didn't even matter. It was jiggling around and it was getting the job done. Simpler times. That would fuck with your head, though, after a while, wouldn't it? Listening to that much porn, everything started to sound like porn. Right? Like, I remember this one time, I thought I was listening to this girl-girl scene. Turns out the picture was just out, and I was watching women's tennis on ESPN2. I finished up to Mollica, and I still have problems. You learn a lot about people when you have kids. One of the biggest things I learned is that if you go out in public and you have a small child with you, it's an invitation for strangers to just come up and talk to you. Huh? And normally I wouldn't care, but it's always the same kind of person. It's always older women with grown kids who do not call her anymore. So she wants to fucking reminisce with your kids. Except she has forgotten, because it's been so long, what a huge pain in the ass it is like to take babies places. Because all they want to do is tell you how great it must be. Like, I remember this one woman came up to me once, she's like, how old is he? 1? These are the best years. These are the best years. My kid shits his pants 6 times a day. This is as good as it gets for me? Because I'll fucking bail. I don't even like him that much yet. The worst is when people are rude to you without even realizing it, right? Like my girlfriend and I are out with the baby, and this woman comes up to us and tells us how beautiful our child is, right? Then they look at my girlfriend, and they congratulate her on making this beautiful baby, like she somehow beat the odds with fucking Shrek's genetics over here, right? And look, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not saying she had nothing to do with it, but let's be fair, okay? If you like went into a bakery and you saw this beautiful cake, would you go into the back and congratulate the oven? Or the baker who's been slinging the batter around? Come on. All right, I think we split people up pretty good on that one. You guys are going to love your headliner. He's seriously one of my favorite comics. You're in a lot of luck tonight coming to the show. But before I go, I know Charlie mentioned it, but can I get one more round of applause for your bartender and your waitresses tonight? Would you do that one? Yeah. You guys aren't getting fucked up on your own. Leave them a couple bucks, right? And no one knows how much the job can suck more than me. I was actually a waiter for 4 years. It's a weird job. Every night's an adventure, right? Like, I remember this night I had a huge moral dilemma. I approached this couple in my section, and I immediately noticed that the female half of the couple had a really large stomach. She was very obviously with child, and she orders an alcoholic beverage from me. So now I'm sitting here thinking, well, is it my place to tell this lady she could be hurting her baby by drinking liquor? Or do I just be a good lackey boy, right? So I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to save us a baby. So I go over to the table, and I'm like, ma'am, maybe I'm out of line, but do you really think it's a good idea to be drinking liquor when you are so obviously pregnant? And I learned 3 valuable lessons that night. Number 1, apparently, just because a woman has a large stomach, it does not necessarily mean she's pregnant. Number 2, apparently, they do not like that being pointed out. And number 3, apparently I can't take a punch because that fat bitch kicked my ass. But hey, I'd still fuck her. Very nice, thank you very much. Bye.
Give it up for Mollica, everybody. Oh man, I don't know. Do we have any single women in the audience? Single women? Let me give you some dating advice. No other guy is ever going to tell you. You're ever on a first date with a guy? You want to see how long it's been since the last time he's been with another woman? Here's what you do. When you're out eating at the restaurant, ask him to take that bottle of ketchup, put some ketchup on your plate. He's like, cap the bottom or get the